Hi, folks. Welcome to another edition of 5 Minute Football with me and football expert, Brendon McGirr. Well, actually, we say it's a 5 Minute Football, but it does sometimes go over, doesn't it, Brendon?
It goes over, and I think you've got to go a bit easy with that expert thing, Liam. Do you know what I mean? I'm a banter merchant. Do you know what I mean? So
they're calling you an anorak. Why are they calling you an anorak?
You Charlton fans get known as the anoraks, I'm afraid, by some certain groups. You know what I mean? We just got to take that on the chin, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and we got here Little Fish. He says, "Can you be a football expert when you're a train spotter?"
Obviously, yes.
So, what do you reckon? What's happening then with the Premiership? It's all over, isn't it? Man City are going to win it. They're going to walk it. We might as well switch off.
I don't know. I think Arsenal are keeping pace. Brighton have had a little surprise start. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, no season is decided in August, is it? Do you know what I mean? So there's a massive long way to go. There's going to be some twists and turns over the season. But I do think you're going to see a pattern with Man City and Arsenal appearing. I see someone seems to think Chelsea's going to win the league this season, but I just can't see it. I just think they're a long way back from the standards Man City are setting, for sure.
Yeah, it's got to be Man City or Arsenal, hasn't it? Definitely. Yeah. I thought Newcastle might sort of get in there a little bit, but I don't know.
Well, like I said, they've only played 2 games, haven't they? So you've got to really see it after 10 games is when you're going to have some sort of real idea of what's happening, you know?
Yeah. Man United, not a great start for them, losing to Spurs 2-0.
No, I mean, it's a shock for Spurs to get a win, isn't it?
Absolutely. What did you think, though, with Spurs losing Harry Kane going to Bayern? What did you think? Was that a good move for Harry Kane? I thought he might have ended up at Man United.
I think it's a good move. I think Harry Kane's probably felt more comfortable going to a different league than the Premier League because his love for Tottenham would have probably been tested. You know what I mean? He's a loyal bloke. He's been at Tottenham all his life, and he's got a good chance of winning stuff with Bayern Munich. And it's a different league. It's a whole new challenge for him, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I thought he might have wanted to stay on so he could get like the goal scoring record. Alan
Shearer's got the goal scoring record with Newcastle, but I think other than that, he's got a couple of losers medals for the FA Cup and a championship medal with Blackburn for winning the Premier League. But he could have had so much more if he didn't stay at Newcastle, couldn't he?
Oh, yeah. I wish he'd gone to United, being a United fan as I am. And talking about Man United, what about old Mason Greenwood? Have you agreed with the decision by United to get rid?
Yeah, it's obviously best for both of them, and Mason Greenwood's tarnished a little bit there. He's been proved, to be innocent now as such. So let him move on, let him find a career away from a new, fresh start is what he probably needs.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen there's rumours that he's going to go to Roma with Mourinho, or he might join up with Steven Gerrard over in Saudi.
Well, if he goes to Saudi, you can't blame him. Look, he's probably missed a year of his career. He don't know how his career is going to pan out after this bit of ag. So if he goes to Saudi and earns plenty of money, good luck to him. Do you know what I mean? If that's the way forward. Footballers have got a short career. You can't really moan if they go and just, go for the big payday. I mean, I still think going back to the Saudi thing, if a lot of these players go, it'll just... Listen, we might get back to having a proper English league again. Do you know what I mean? And we weren't a bad league at one point. I mean, we won the European Cup 6 years in a row, English teams, when it was basically just the 3 home nations players playing together.
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, people agree with you. Richie Stretch said, well said, Brendon, let them all F off to Saudi and we'll watch the local lads like the old days, meat pie and a Bovril. Were you a meat pie and Bovril man, Brendon?
Well, I'll tell you what, we didn't even have meat pies when I started going. You got roast chicken. That was the highlight of the day at football then at Charlton. That's what it was, I'm afraid.
How did Charlton get on the other day? You were going to the match. How did they get on?
Well, we had another bad defeat. We're actually having a bad run at the minute. So less said about that, the better. Good luck. Hope you turn it, man. You need a bit of support. You need some players to come in. The club needs to invest. That squad is nowhere near going to be good enough, really, for a top 6 unless they show some serious investment before the end of this month.
It's good now. A couple of people have criticised you last week for wearing a football shirt, saying grown men shouldn't wear football shirts. I see you haven't worn one today. Do you think grown men should wear football shirts?
And everyone's entitled to their opinion. I like wearing a football shirt, man. Yeah, sometimes just it helps me feel, like I'm still a little bit of I've got a bit of youth for me. Obviously, I won't walk around football stadiums with a football shirt on. I'm too old for that. But allow me to just indulge in it at home at least.
Did you watch, I know you're more into the men's game. Did you watch the Women's World Cup final?
Did have to have a look at the Women's World Cup final on Sunday, and fair play to them. They were unlucky. They hit the bar. On another day, they could have gone into extra time. They could have nicked it on penalties. Spain were probably the better team overall, but an outstanding achievement for them girls to get to a World Cup final. And you can't take that away from them. So, do you know what I mean? My advocate is I think great women's football's great for the ladies, great for the girls to get involved with. And I'm glad that they had women commentators on the women's football.
Yeah.
But because I'm a bit old-fashioned, I just prefer having a fella commentating on the Premier League or the men's games. I've no disrespect to the ladies, but it's hard for me to relate to a girl that I don't really know or that a woman's voice when you've had your whole life listening to men commentating and it's been part of your culture.
Yeah. Do you think then that the men should be commentating on the women's then?
No. I think the ladies should be allowed to have full control of their game. They're the ones that are going to bring it forward. The women's football now has took big strides, especially with the World Cup and especially in this country with what England players have achieved. But let them have the glory. Let the girls go forward and be the journalists, be the reporters, and be the commentators in the girls' football. You know what I mean? Like men have done it in men's football for years. I think girls should be doing it in women's football.
What did you think of the standard? I thought the standard was fantastic. A lot of the goals, some of the goals were amazing, and the England goalkeeper looks good. She's Mary Earps? Can't remember her name now, but great penalty save.
I mean, I have to be honest, I didn't watch that much of the tournament, but that final game, the standard of football in there was very, very good. You know what I mean? You see, it was definitely a World Cup final. So yeah, they're coming on leaps and bounds, the ladies, aren't they? They're definitely getting more dedicated. They're probably getting better training, better science, better food, better ways of doing things. Like the men's game, it's all sort of marching forward. Yeah,
my favourite moment of the final though was when the team went up, the Spanish team went up, and the president of Spain or their football federation grabbed the one of the players and gave her a right old kiss, almost tonguing her. So she weren't too happy. Do you think this is something we should bring into the men's game?
Well, I think that's just a little bit of Mediterranean passion overspill there, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? I don't think you'd have that. We're a bit more controlled here. They'd still be shaking hands and patting you on the head and saying, well done here, wouldn't they? Do you know what I mean? You can't see Prince William leaning over to give a French kiss to any footballer here, can you, in reality?
Yeah, well, you never know. It could be something going forward, Couldn't quite see it with Roy Keane or anything like that. Sky Sports presenters have got in trouble where they described the Everton boss, Sean Dyche. They said he looked a bit like a croupier and a casino worker. Did you see that?
I see that. They've just got pummeled as well, got a 3-0 defeat. Mm-hmm. And been nothing but respectful, weren't they? Liverpool and Everton have showed great respect for the young man that sadly passed away on the construction of the stadium.
Yes.
To give him a bit of stick this weekend, I mean, we all like a bit of football banter, but it's a bit harsh. As a young man lost his life this week, and they were trying to pay respect to him, pay tribute to him. So I think they, should bear things in mind like that sometimes.
Yeah. Have you ever said anything that out of turn that you regretted doing, Brendon?
Every single day at some point, I'm my best behaviour when I speak to you on here, Liam.
Yeah, I've noticed how well behaved you are today, Brendon. You haven't, let fly about anything. So good for you. Well, it's a short program. I think we've done well over 5 minutes. I don't even know why we call it 5-minute football, but we're going to be back every Tuesday reviewing the Premiership. If you've got any comments, put them in the comments below, and our Anorak, Brendon McGirr, football expert, will be able to talk about them, won't you, Brendon?
I will give it my best shot, Liam.
All right, folks. I hope you enjoy watching, and we'll see you next week.
Cheers, Liam. Ciao, mate.